So ADT defines the abstract data type, and it defines set of all operations that you can do with the data structure. So in queue you can do certain operations like creating a queue and then pushing data elements into a queue, or we cannot tell it as push. We can insert elements into a queue, we can remove elements from your queue, and you can also like in a stack we used a function called isEmpty. Like that, in a queue also you can check whether the queue is full or empty. For that also you can define functions. Okay, so I've defined here. So queue is an ADT, and the basic operations of a queue are enqueuing and dequeuing. Okay, so whenever I insert new elements into the queue, it is called as enqueue. Okay, and whenever we remove elements of your queue, then it is called as dequeuing. And there are two ways of implementing a queue, that is array implementation and linked list based implementation. Okay, in stack also we saw that stack can be implemented either using an array or using a linked list. Okay, in the same way queue can also be implemented using an array or linked list. Okay, so when I say implemented, it means writing a program for a queue. Okay, so when I want to write a program to implement queue operations, I can write it using array notation, or I can design a queue using linked list notation. Okay, but you should remember it should follow the principle called as first in first out. Okay, so in a stack we always remember that element should be removed from the stack. In which order? It should be removed in last in first out. That is the order we remembered whenever we perform the pop operation. Okay, so in the initially we discussed that stack and queue, they differ by the order in which deletion is done, the way by which your deletion of elements is done. Okay, in a stack we remove the last element first. Okay, so that's why it's called as last in first out. In a queue we remove the first inserted element first. Okay, so that's why it is called as first in first out. Okay, so whichever element was put into the queue first, that will be removed from the queue first. Okay, so that is with your queue. So it can also be implemented using an array, simply using an array, and or you can use linked list where you can dynamically allocate nodes for data elements. So here also I hope you can remember, because from the first class I am telling you what is the advantage of linked list, what is the limitation of an array. Okay, so the main thing is about your memory. So in your array, it is statically allocated. So initially I have to tell the size of the queue. So if I say that size of the queue is 5, it is static. You cannot change the size of the queue later. So that is one drawback. And also about the insertions and deletions in your in between. But here in queue, we don't bother about inserting in between, because queue means remember some persons standing in a queue. So we won't allow anyone to come in between, is it not? A queue follows a strict principle that when a new person comes, they should join at the end of the queue. We won't allow inside. So that limitation we are not going to worry about here. Okay. So whenever a new element comes, we are always going to place it at the end of the queue. And in your linked list, we are going to use dynamic memory allocation. We are going to create a new node and we are going to place it at the end of the list. Okay, so we'll see about that later. So now we are going to just discuss about some more basics. So about implementing, we'll see later the upcoming classes. So here I've shown you a simple diagram and what are all the operations that you can do with a queue. Okay, so queue ADT. Once again, I'm repeating, ADT means the set of all operations that you can do with a particular data structure. So with the queue, what are all the operations that you can do? Okay, so you can create a queue or you can destroy a queue. Destroy means you can delete all the elements in the queue. And then enqueue, not only spelling for enqueue and dequeue, because these are two new terms for you, not only spelling. So enqueue is when you are inserting a new element in your queue, it is called enqueue. And when you are removing an element out of the queue, it's called as dequeue. And isEmpty is a function which is going to check whether your queue is empty or not. Okay, so if your queue is empty, I must not perform dequeue. I must not do dequeue. Okay, so So only if queue has some content, I can remove one of the element. If a queue is already empty, we cannot perform dequeue. That is the purpose of this isEmpty. So the same function we have used in stack also. Okay. So if your stack is empty, I cannot perform pop operation. So there we saw a condition called as underflow. Okay. Do you remember these two terms, underflow and overflow? We have used these. We have identified that two possible exceptions might occur, like underflow and overflow. So here also we use this function called isEmpty to check whether a queue is empty or not. Okay, you analyze this diagram. You have some set of numbers in your queue. Imagine B is the first element, C is the second, D is the third, E is the next one, and F is the last element. This is the order. Okay, and the most recently dequeued element might be from the first of your queue. Might have been the first element in your queue. For example, A has been dequeued. Okay, in this example, A has been dequeued because it was the first element. It might have been pushed into this queue. So A has been removed first. And whenever a new element comes in, like G, when a new element comes in, we are going to push it, or we are going to insert it at the end of the queue. So that operation we call it as enqueue. Okay, inserting a new element at the end of the queue. So after a F, you are going to insert this G. Okay, so that is called as an enqueue. So here you have to remember, always dequeue will occur at the front of the queue and enqueue will occur at the last end of your queue. So I'm also going to introduce you two new terms to denote the front and last positions. So the queue property is, if X is enqueued before Y is enqueued, then X will be dequeued before Y is. Okay, so here a generic statement about a queue is, if X and Y are two different terms, if X has been enqueued first into the queue, it should be the first to be dequeued before Y. Okay, so whichever element comes inside the queue first, it should be dequeued first. That is the statement, a generic statement about a queue. That is one important property of a queue. Okay, and you can write the principle also, first in, first out. So here I've shown you some of the applications of the queue. So in your exam, you must not write like applications of this. You should not write queue as a single character. Okay. So you should not tell that madam projected the PPT with the single queue. So I will write it as a queue, like that. You must not write. Okay. You write it as QUEUE. Your exams, you should not write any short format and all. Okay. So even though your presentations has like this, always when you are writing some exams, write it in full format. Don't use short formats. So here I've shown some more examples of a queue. So first one is holds job for a printer. Okay. So imagine there is a shared printer, might be in an office. Okay. Imagine an office with a shared printer. Some 100 employees might be sharing the same printer. Okay. So each and everyone, they might give the print order. They might give the print function at any time. Okay. So in that case, the print request, it will be queued. A print request will be given to the printer and be queued one after the other. Okay. So whichever person gave the first print request, it will be submitted to the printer first. It will be printed first. Okay. So in the same order in which the employees raise the request, in the same order, the printer is going to print the documents. Okay. So that is one example. Okay. So if there are more number of print requests, a queue will be maintained. Okay. A queue will be maintained and one by one the jobs will be printed. Okay. Do you study operating system this semester? No, not. This semester you have only 2 papers. Okay. So in operating system also you will be studying a lot about queues. Some of the applications of queue will be studying in operating system also. So that is one example. And then store packets on net. So in your computer networks and all, when I transmit some data or file from one computer system to another computer system, it might be an email or any particular document or a PPT or an image or a video or audio. Whatever you share, whatever you send from one person to another person, data is transmitted in the form of packets. Okay, in computer networks, data is shared in the form of packets. So those packets also, they are sent using the logic of your queue. Okay, the packets, they are sent in the your entire message, it will be splitted into some set of packets. Okay, so the packets will go one by one in the same order in which we defined, in the same order in which it will be sent, in the same order it will be received in your receiving side also. Okay, so that is one more application. And hold memory free list. Okay, so in linked list, what we saw, whenever there is a free memory, it will be allocated for a new node, is it not? So some free memory in your memory system, it will also be noted down, is it not? So that is also available as a in the form of a queue. Okay, free list, it will also maintained as a queue. So when we request for a new memory location, one of the free location from that queue, it will be allocated for us, and makes wait list fair. And waiting time, considering the waiting time, it will be fair. For example, you can imagine about this print request itself. Okay, so nobody is going to wait for a long time. Whoever comes late, they will be serviced late. Whoever comes first, they will be serviced quick. So that is the logic in your queue. Okay, so in a queue, that fair principle, it is followed. Nobody is going to wait for a long time. In whichever order they enter the queue, in the same order they will be serviced. It is applicable for any example. Okay, and breadth first search. This is one more technique we are going to study in your graph and trees. Graph and trees will be studying in our 4th unit, is it not? There we'll be studying about how queue is used in your algorithm called as breadth first search. It is a type of searching technique. Okay. So these are some of the applications. Once again, these are some of the applications of queue. So queue follows first in, first out. This principle alone you just write down. I want to show you one more term. Just note on this. For an NQ, we are going to insert the element at the rear end of the list. Okay, we are going to use two terms called as front and rear. Okay, we are going to use two terms called as front and rear. A DQ operation, it is associated with a term called as front. DQ means removing an element. Okay, so removing is always done at the front of the queue. Okay, so you have a term called front associated with the DQ, and NQ, when insertion is always associated with the rear end of the list. These two words you just write down, rear and front. We are going to use pointers called rear and front in your queue to denote which is your front of the queue and which is the last position of the queue. You just draw this diagram alone. With that, we will end this session. You draw this diagram. You have a queue here. You just note down. You have two pointers called front and rear. So front denotes the first element. Okay, first element that came into the queue. This is the front or first position of the queue. So when I get a first element, I am going to place it in this place. Okay, so later my queue size might have been grown, and this front pointer, I told you that front is going to be associated with DQ, is it not? So this pointer, it denotes from where I am going to remove. Your remove operation is always going to be done at the front of the queue. Okay, so imagine you are standing in a line. It might be any place, either a ration shop or in a, when you are getting a flight ticket or a cinema ticket, whatever it is. When you are standing in front, you are going to be serviced first. Okay, so remember like that. So whoever is in this, whichever term this front point is going to point to, that will be removed or DQ'd from the list first. That will be removed from the DQ from the queue first. Okay, and whenever new items come, they are going to be added to the rear end of the queue. So we have to note down where is this rear pointer. There only new items are going to be inserted. Okay, so the distance between this front and the rear, they define the length of a queue at any point. Okay, so queue might grow or shrink. Okay, it might have initially 3 elements, then 5 elements, then 10 elements. Once again, it can shrink to 7 elements. Okay, so your queue is going to be dynamic. It's going to be changing. In that case, At any point of time, if you want to see the size of the queue, how many elements are there or how many persons are there in the queue, you can just check out the position of this front and rear pointers. They will tell you the number of elements in your queue. Okay. So this you can note down, front and rear. So dynamic queues, it's about dynamic queue. Just a stack can be implemented with both as arrays or a linked list. You can also use a queue, and dynamic queues have the same advantage. The dynamic means the queue size it will increase, whereas in a stack it's going to be static. Is it not? In a dynamic method or when you are using a linked list, a queue size it is infinite. You cannot define the size of the queue. You can have any number of elements. So here one more example is given here. So front pointer points to the first element. Initially, when your queue is empty, when I'm inserting the first element, both the pointers they're going to point to the first element. Okay. So whenever I'm inserting new elements, I'm going to insert at the rear end. I told you that whenever we are doing an NQ operation, we are going to do it at the rear end of your queue. So this rear pointer is the place where you're going to do insertions. So when I want to insert one more data, I'll update this rear pointer and there I'll do insertion. So 6 will be inserted in the second position. When I want to insert one more data called 9, I'll update rear pointer and insert it 9. If I want to perform a DQ operation now, I'll remove 3 first. Okay, because it is the first element in your queue. So it will be removed first. So this example, this diagram you can note down. Just note on this diagram. The remaining part of some more examples for NQ and DQ, and then implementing a queue using an array and linked list, that we'll discuss in our next class, next week. Okay. So today our data structure session is planned only for 1 hour. From 10:30 now you can join for OOPS class in the another meeting. Okay, you can join for the next class in the other meeting. And I hope you have all submitted the assignment. If you're not yet submitted by today afternoon, to submit. Okay. Remember, I want your class notes and the 2 exercises that I gave you yesterday to be uploaded in your assignment. Okay. So since you have already completed our first unit, very soon we'll be having a test-like thing. Like in our college, we'll have a unit test. Is it not like that? We have planned for a test. We will have a test very soon. Have your notebooks with clean explanations. Okay, maintain a notebook correctly. Okay, have you all noted down the slide? So we can see about the other topics in the next class, about the implementation of queue in the next class.